about a video game, we'll get the announcement trailer with some beta gameplay, and then it comes out to the public and we all can get our hands on it. But in some rare occasions, a game will get announced and then that'll be the end of the story. We will never hear about it ever again, or the game gets officially cancelled. And that's what today's video is going to be on, the top 5 cancelled games on my own personal list, games that I was really excited to play that eventually just got cancelled or were never heard of ever again. Starting us off at number 5 is Kirby's Adventure for the Nintendo GameCube. Now, Kirby's Adventure was supposed to be a sequel to the original Kirby 64 Crystal Shards on the Nintendo 64, but it was eventually canned. It was shown off in a trailer back at E3 2005, and it was never heard or seen again. It wasn't until Kirby's Dream Collection that it was confirmed that the game was scrapped, and all the parts from it ended up being in Kirby's Return to Dreamland. The trailer that was released in 2005 showed off a Kirby game that played very similar to Return to Dreamland with some slight alterations. It would have had a buddy system very much like Kirby Superstar, with up to 3 other players that could be controlled by a computer or a human. The story of the game was also different from Return to Dreamland, as it actually focused on King Dedede as an enemy. King Dedede would have stolen Kirby's Warp Star, and it would be the whole plot of the game to return back to Dedede and get your star back. Seeing as Kirby's Crystal Shard was one of my favorite games on the N64 growing up, I was really disappointed to see that Kirby's Adventure was cancelled, but at least we got some sort of form of it in Kirby's Return to Dreamland for the Nintendo Wii, and I guess technically on the 3DS too. Number 4, Maverick Hunter, a first-person shooter Mega Man game that was being developed back in 2010. Maverick Hunter was being developed by Armature Studios, a development team founded by the minds behind the Metroid Prime series. The game showed a lot of promise, and it even had the blessing of the series creator Kenji Inafune. But 6 months into 2010, Capcom deemed the title too much of a gamble, and after Inafune left Capcom in 2010, Maverick Hunter was cancelled. Months after its cancellation, gameplay has been revealed online of the game in action, and it shows a futuristic first-person shooter that seems to stay true to the gameplay mechanics of Mega Man X. Capcom even intended the game to be the first in a trilogy of games where you would actually play as X for the first 2 games, and become so powerful that in the 3rd game you would actually go rogue, and instead of playing as X in the 3rd game, you would actually play as Zero trying to stop X. So it seems like Capcom had a really big plan for this game, and not just the game itself, but for it to be an entire series of games, which is pretty crazy to think that they had this big idea and then just canned the very first game. And it wasn't even just Maverick Hunter that got cancelled, but a ton of other Mega Man games. There are just too many to list in this list by itself. Number 3, Star Wars 1313.
Disney, you are the chosen one.
Okay, seriously now, Star Wars 1313 looked amazing, but then Disney had to join in. Star Wars 1313 was announced back at E3 2012, and it was supposed to be a Star Wars game like the traditional ones from the early 2000s that followed the early adult life of Boba Fett and Coruscant. Gameplay was shown off in June 2012, but when Disney bought Lucasfilms, they shut down LucasArts and laid off the entire staff of the game. Now, while Star Wars 1313 wasn't officially cancelled, Disney did make a deal with EA to have them become the official external developer for future Star Wars games, but as of right now, EA has come out and said that they don't have plans to work on Star Wars 1313 at the moment, and it's currently being shelved. Since then, the trademark for Star Wars 1313 hasn't been renewed by Disney, nor has it brought back the hope of any fans for the game. Number 2, Fez 2. The original Fez was a very iconic indie game that came out for the Xbox 360 and then was later released to other platforms. It featured a unique art style and gameplay mechanics that made the puzzle platformer iconic. A sequel was planned and announced in June 2013, only to be cancelled a month later. In July 2013, an argument between the annoyed gamer and Fez creator Phil Fish caused Phil Fish to finally snap and quit the video game industry altogether, cancelling Fez 2 in the process. Nothing else regarding Fez 2 was ever said or announced. The game has been cancelled for years now, and it's just one of the biggest disappointments in video game history in my opinion. Fez was amazing, Fez 2 would have probably been just as amazing if not better. Number 1, Silent Hills. Silent Hills was really hyped up with the release of PT, but then Konami just went down the drain with not just PT and Silent Hills, but literally everything. The company is just going down the pipeline at this point. The cancellation of PT or Silent Hills is just one of the many recent reasons why Konami is going downhill. PT was a playable teaser, which is actually what it stands for a new entry in the Silent Hills series by Metal Gear Solid series creator Hideo Kojima and film director Guillermo del Toro. The playable teaser received a lot of positive attention from gamers, but Konami suddenly cancelled the game and took down PT from the PlayStation Network, along with the ability to re-download the game. Since PT's cancellation, Hideo Kojima seems to be leaving Konami, although it's not yet confirmed yet. Now that Metal Gear Solid 5 has been released, it pretty much looks like he's not really part of Konami anymore. Aside from the possibility of Hideo Kojima leaving Konami, Guillermo del Toro himself has vowed to never work on video games ever again because he just seems to bring a lot of bad luck to them apparently. PT or Silent Hills was Guillermo del Toro's second cancelled game out of 2 games he tried making. The cancellation of PT and Silent Hills was just the first mistake in a series of greater mistakes Konami has been making throughout this whole year, and I'm sure they're going to top it off with more mistakes later this year. But hey, if you're one of the lucky people that actually have a copy of PT downloaded onto your PS4, that PS4 is probably worth a lot more now. And those are 5 awesome looking games that I was really excited for that got announced but never actually came out. If you guys have your own list of games that you were really excited for that got cancelled, let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to learn more about these like secret games that some people might not know about. And if you guys enjoyed the video and found it entertaining, give it a like and share it with your friends as it helps more people find out about the channel, and I really appreciate it. It really helps me out, so thank you. As always, thank you all very much for watching the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later!